All right, we're doing another one of these Homeric Rhapsody things. So what I'm doing here is not necessarily trying to recite the Iliad word for word like an actor would do on stage. I'm also not necessarily trying to write an entirely new work. I am upholding the ancient tradition of oral storytelling, which is to say that you recite a story as you can recall it, all the episodes within it that you can recall, and stitch together that story with whatever pieces you can come up with to make it comprehensible. This would be the way that Homer, and the poets before literacy would have, recited any story. Not to say that it's to the same quality standard that they would, but it's the same method. And I want to try and catch the ring of that in order to better write the content for the project that I'm working on. So let's keep going with it. Sing to me, goddess, of that time when the great Pallas Athena flashed down to earth and spread seeds of dissent among the Achaeans and their newly peacemaking Trojans. The two armies had come to an agreement. The duel between Menelaus and Paris had been settled. Paris, somehow having escaped the conflict, had forfeit his spot in the battle, and Menelaus it was who came out the victor. Thus were the Achaeans and Trojans made to form a pact by all the great honors and the great sacrifices and every law among God and man. So the men prepared to feast and to make merry among each other, the two armies ready to intermingle and have a great banquet on the night. But the men had noticed the comet coming down near Earth, did not recognize that it had been the great gray-eyed goddess, but knew some portent was afoot. Athena had cloaked herself in the guise of an attendant of Pandarus, the archer, who hailed from the country and the forests of his homeland with a great ilex bow and with his archery skills taught to him by the huntress and that lord of the silver bow. Those two twins had given him his incredible skills and his incredible eye and his incredible coordination. And she spake to him, "O Pandarus, son of Lycaon, why not take a shot at that Captain Menelaus who has just stepped out into the open, speaking among his commanders, shouting to both armies? He is there for the taking. Anyone could snipe at him if they so chose. Why not see if you can end the war today? Yea, they say that it already be ended, but who knows? Such things are fickle. And if you were to do such a thing decisively, if you were to, let's say, remove the necessity for the Greeks to win back fair Helen, well then, not only would the war be over, as it currently is in stalemate with no victor, you would have won the war for Troy. The Trojans would be able to go back to their city victorious. The Achaeans would have to leave in shame, and your name would be shouted from the rafters and the rooftops, and all Trojans and Lycians and Dardans and every contingent that fights alongside the Trojans would honor your name. I would not be surprised if Paris himself gave you an estate and a great house within the upper city. What say you? Why not try your hand? It has been quite a while since you had an archery contest in which to compete, that your favorite pastime back in your fertile homeland where your chariots and horses wait for you. Why not? Why not try your hand? Pandarus, almost hypnotized by these honey-sweet words of a companion whom he did not quite recognize, but who he never doubted for a second. Such is the power of a great Olympian in that guise and in that ability to trick the hearts of men. Pandarus felt he had a new calling. He felt that he would take that shot and see if he could win the war for Troy, to bring glory behind the 9 years that they had suffered within their city, to give them some respite and something for all the widows and the mothers without sons and the children without fathers, something to cheer about. He told his men to form a great circle about him with their shields, and he prepared his great ilex bow, which he had won by hunting a great animal in the woods, taking its tusk, its horns, and fitting them together into a massive bow. That which he had used in so many contests before, and which was now to become the object of the most important contest of his life and the lives of all assembled there. All right, an interesting one. I added some different, an interesting thing where I made it so that Athena was almost like hypnotizing him rather than just convincing him normally, which is kind of cool. Robert Graves and some of the others say that it's more of like a thing where he would be like possessed. Like a lot of these guys would be like possessed by gods, and some of them, different translators and scholars have different like ideas of how the gods are getting people to do stuff. And I think it's kind of an interesting approach to do the thing where he's almost being hypnotized, which I never planned this stuff in advance. It just came off the top of my head, but I thought it was kind of a cool idea. And I couldn't remember what his country is called. I'm pretty sure Lycaon is his father, Pandarus, I mean. But yeah, I couldn't remember where he came from. A lot of the stuff with the countries' names where people come from, I can't necessarily remember, but I don't think it worked too badly. Also an interesting thing where like I came up with some kind of like little extra motivational idea for why he would think that he's gonna win or like end the war, even though the war's already ended, which is the way it actually is in the Iliad. And the idea being that he's not satisfied with just winning the war through like a, technical victory, that it's like from all the people who lost loved ones in the war, he's like trying to give them like a more satisfactory kind of like a victory so that they could be satisfied by that, which I thought was kind of an interesting, motivation. Yeah, again, I need to get better at all of this, like the cadence and the detail of stuff that I'm making. But I think that one was not too bad. So, again, just every day, keep doing it. The project I'm working on is a turn-based RPG video game based on the Trojan War that I've been working on my YouTube channel for like 1.5 years. So you can check that out there. And I'll be back again doing this next time. All right.